Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, Democrat from Minnesota, Deputy Chair of the Congressional Progressive Caucus and member of the House Budget Committee. Congresswoman Omar, it's great to see you. I'm sorry that you have to be living through the chaos of this moment down in Washington, D.C. But can you give me some insight as to what the sort of Democratic calculus is right now on Speaker McCarthy's survival as the Speaker of the House? Why is it that the progressives don't want to save him, and is that a sentiment shared more broadly in your caucus?
Well, Alex, thank you so much for having me. This is a tragic tale of a weak, pathetic man who, in order to achieve his wish of being a speaker, had to make a deal with the devil. And we are not interested in saving this man from himself and the devil that he made this deal with. It is true that he made all of these promises, including what is now risking his speakership. He brought this onto himself. And if he was somebody who had a backbone, who knew how to lead, who wasn't a known liar, maybe some of us would consider what it means for the integrity of his speakership to try to stop this chaos. But the reality is, this is the chaos their conference wanted. This is the chaos he was willing to create in order to become a speaker. And this is someone that has not only broken the promises he made to different members of his conference, but also broke the last deal he made with the president and the Democrats. This is why we're looking at a shutdown. We agreed to top-line funding policies when we passed the bill to stop us from defaulting as a country, and now he's refusing to uphold that deal. And we are looking at a shutdown with less than 30 hours to go because they are interested in having a sham impeachment to distract from a twice impeached, 91-time indicted criminal former president who they want to obey and distract from his actions, the fact that he's facing both state and federal crimes. They also are very much interested in cutting necessary programs like SNAP and WIC, cancer research, disaster relief assistance. We're seeing what's happening in New York right now. We're seeing what's happening across the country, whether it's Hawaii and other places like Florida. To have this man not come to his senses, to choose to govern and not hold on to power is really scary, not just for us in the House who are entrusted to govern, but also every single American who relies on all of these federal programs and needs our country to function the way it should.
Yeah, and listen, as a resident of New York City, the thick irony of the government about to shut down on a day when New York's infrastructure is breaking apart cannot be overstated. Let me ask you, though, about the suggestion from some Democrats that they might help Speaker McCarthy survive this if he would agree to a power-sharing agreement. Is there any credibility to that, as far as you know?
I have not. I spent some time the last couple of nights that we've been forced to stay up late, voting on unnecessary, toxic, really ridiculous amendments, talking to some of the Democrats that people are thinking might help save McCarthy from the disaster he's created for himself. But many of them say unless there is a 50-50 power sharing agreement where we get to chair 50% of the committees in the House, whether there is, shared agreement on the kind of pieces of legislation we will pass, both on the Democratic side and on the Republican side. They're not interested in saving a speaker who has made it his mission to take autonomy away from women by banning abortion, who has started the effort to cut Social Security, who is so pathetic that he's willing to cut 80% from heat assistance to so many people who rely, especially Minnesotans, knowing that winter is coming. This is a man who really doesn't care about his constituents, doesn't care about the American people. The only thing he cares about is satisfying Marjorie Taylor Greene and the crazies in his caucus, and not about his constituents and the American people. And I don't think there is going to be a single Democrat unless this man makes an agreement that we know we can fulfill to let us co-govern with him.
Well, you know, the unstinting criticism, the frankness of your assessment of Kevin McCarthy's weaknesses, I think is a breath of fresh air for people who have been watching all of this unfold. Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, I am sorry that you have to spend your weekend dealing with this. I am more sorry for your constituents and for the country. This is not what we need right now, but I am deeply appreciative of your time tonight.
Thank you.
Congress.